Hello students, this is Sherry Peters and I am going to discuss resume essentials with you today. There's a lot to learn about resume, so let's get started. Here's an example of a person's resume. Lots of information, lots of misspelled words as you can see, a really long email address, inconsistent experience, no clear dates on part-time experience, working on or off campus. And lastly, under education and interests, some information that might not be useful for someone at this point as they are a student on the campus. So let's talk about what you should include and how information on your resume can be useful. There's some resume myths out there. What do you think some of them are? One myth that I hear about often is that there's only one way to write a resume. That in fact is not true. You write the resume that's going to be most useful to you. What's going to be key information for one may not be relevant for someone else. Secondly, another myth is that one specific resume fits all jobs. Your internship resume is going to look very different than, let's say, a resume for looking for full-time opportunities. Another myth is that experience only counts if it was paid. You can add your volunteer information. That's what's going to be useful on a resume for a lot of students. And lastly, there are lots of templates out there that you can download and utilize to create a resume. But employers don't like to see that. They want to see a resume that makes you look your very best and provide them with information that's going to be useful. So what is the purpose of a resume? A resume is a summary of your skills and qualifications that advertises what you have to offer an employer. So again, it's unique to you. You are an individual who's in school, obtaining a particular degree with a particular GPA, hopefully 3.0 or higher, and each of you has a variety of work or volunteer experience. And we need to advertise each and every one of those experiences for the employer. And every resume will be different for every single student. So let's look at some of the essentials that are required on a resume. Because employers are spending 15 to 30 seconds reviewing each resume, so you want to have key information for yourself on your resume. Clearly your name and contact information. Whether or not you add your address is completely up to you. But what's important is to have your name clearly written and situated on that resume, whether in the middle, the right, or the left, along with a working phone number and a working email address. Next, you may have an objective or a goal or even a summary of experience. But a summary of experience is to describe to an employer specific attributes that you have obtained over the past 5 to 10 years, which will showcase the skills that you have to offer that employer and proves to them that you are ready to take on that key job that you've applied to. If you don't have 5 to 10 years of experience, a summary may not be useful on that resume, and you may want to stick with a goal or an objective. Education is very important. Many employers come to the campus or post positions through the Handshake portal because they are seeking Cal Poly Pomona students. So adding that information is critical on a resume. And additionally, you'll want to add your experience, whether paid or voluntary, your skills, your campus or off-campus activities that can be utilized for a position directly or indirectly. And lastly, memberships. So you may join those clubs and organizations, and that's what you want to include oftentimes on a resume. So here is a brief informational piece regarding your personal information. Again, your name typed out clearly, can be as large as a 16-point font. It should be a little bit larger than the rest of your resume. Address, again, some students are omitting their address. That is fine. I caution you, perhaps just use your city, state, and zip. Then a working phone number or your cellular phone number. And lastly, your email. Whether it's your CPP email address or not, just make sure that you minimize the numbers on the email address and make sure that it's short enough for the employer. They may type it out one time, copy and paste it one time, and you may or may not receive an email from that employer if you have too many numbers embedded in your email address. Next, in this example, it states objective. It may be that goal. It may be a power statement as well, but it needs to be clearly stated, avoiding lengthy and meaningless statements where you as the student can do this, this, and this. Get right to the point with the employer so they know what you are seeking to do. Here are some examples of statements. Again, whether it's a goal or an objective, these four can get you on the right track. Example 1, seeking a part-time internship in the field of human resources for ADP. Secondly, obtain a challenging position with a company that offers growth in the field of management. The third example, seeking an entry-level management position. And lastly, contribute skills and education to a fast-growing consulting company. So each is unique, each gets right to the point. I would say that the third option here, seeking an entry-level management position, might be utilized for a career fair. Education, perhaps the third section on your resume. Let me show you a really good example of how the education can be typed out on a resume. This is the official name of the university, California State Polytechnic University, comma, Pomona. For most of you listening to this webinar, you are in the College of Business. So it would be a Bachelor of Science, comma, Business Administration. In this example, this individual graduated back in June 2017. But for many of you, if this is the first semester on campus, you may change that to August 2019 dash current or August 2019 dash present or August 2019 dash. Your emphasis might simply then be in finance, and you can name it as such. Or you can add major. Maybe it's international business. Maybe you've selected a minor, then you would add it underneath the major. For some of you, you may not quite have a GPA from Cal Poly Pomona as of yet. But if it is 3.0 or higher as you move along, it should be listed under your education. And if you obtain certificates or an additional degree at a different university or community college, you can add it underneath your current educational pursuit from this campus. So the next portion, we're going to discuss bullet points. And those bullet points are very essential on a resume. The employer wants to see what you've done, how you've done it, and you want to elaborate with as many details as possible in a short, concise manner and showcase any results. So for example, if you were head cashier for a organization and you provided projects and disseminated responsibilities for 5 other individuals, which then increased sales quotas for your department, and then you were recognized for that accomplishment or for that improvement, you've just created that bullet point, one bullet point for your head cashier position. So utilize this and type out some of the duties that you have for your position. If you've not yet worked, that's okay. Save this for later on. This can be very useful as you go through your first job and move forward into other opportunities, even if they are volunteer opportunities. The way that you can create your experience, your work experience or your volunteer, paid or unpaid, would simply be the following. Whatever the organization name is, the city and the state, and what your position title is or has been, and the month and the year that you've worked. If it's current, you will add the month and the year you started the role, put a dash, or utilize the word to, current. And again, those duties and responsibilities, starting each one of your bullet point statements with an action verb to describe the work that you are or have completed. So let's look at some responsibilities for this individual. They answered phones, worked front desk, did sales. Okay, we see here that they answered the telephone. Well, a lot of us do that on a daily basis, but we don't know how often or how high the volume was when they answered these telephones. And what did they actually do at the front desk? Did they say hello to all the customers? Did they answer the phone while they were at the front desk? We're not sure what these key responsibilities included. And then lastly, they did sales. What types of sales transactions did they take care of? Let's look at the examples once we add some action verbs. Demonstrated professional etiquette in managing multi-line phone system. Supervised front desk operations of a 70-room 5-star hotel, providing direction to 5 desk clerks and 2 bellhops. Recognized as consistently exceeding quotas and responsible for 30% higher performance rate in sales division. Quite elaborate, but it details the type of work that this individual had to complete in their role, and much better than did sales and answered phones. So make sure to work on your bullet point statements, and the Career Center is here to help you with that. So let's say you haven't worked. and you're not sure what else you can add to your resume. Here are some great examples of additional sections that you can add on your resume. Perhaps you've joined a club or you're involved with club activities on or off campus. You may want to add that to that resume as another section. Computer skills. Maybe you just know quite a number of skills other than Microsoft. That's important to employers if you have additional technological skills. And maybe you understand, read, write, or even speak multiple languages. That's another section you can add to your resume. So take note of the honors and awards, volunteer activities, and relevant coursework. All of this can be added to a resume. But going back to bullet point statements and additional sections on a resume, sometimes students have trouble trying to figure out what they can add onto a resume. This handout for accomplishments is something that we have at the Career Center. And you're welcome to come by the Career Center and pick one up, because it goes through a list of different types of accomplishments or phrases that you can think about and add to a resume, such as motivated others. Maybe you forgot that you tutored some youth, or maybe you mentored or are currently mentoring others. These are accomplishments that can also be added to a resume. So pick up one of the accomplishments handouts when you have a moment. And on the back side of the accomplishments handout, we do have quite a number of action verbs that you can incorporate into your resume as well. So on your resume, make sure that it's consistent. Font size is consistent throughout. Bullet point statements and bullet points are consistent. So if you use a square for your first set of bullet point statements, make sure that you use it throughout. Be specific, factual, and positive, as well as relevant on your resume. Your presentation does matter. The resume should look clean. There should be a little bit of white space all the way around your resume. No smaller than a ½ inch all the way around. You need to sell yourself on your resume. Remember, employers take 15 to 30 seconds looking at your resume, so you want to add those key attributes and emphasize your results on your resume. And the last two, make sure to proofread and edit your resume, and that's what drop-in advising is all about. We are in the Career Center to help with this. And utilize terminology that you may very well find on the job description for the position you're applying to. But only use that terminology if you personally have completed those tasks. Employers look at core competencies and whether you, the job applicant, have these core competencies. So I want to showcase two examples here: leadership and teamwork collaboration. So if you have worked and you've been promoted to team lead, or if you have taken on an e-board leadership role, you have that core competency of leadership, so long as you explain it out on your resume and it's clear and employers can see it. Teamwork collaboration. Have you taken the lead for a project in your class or for your club and organization? Have you collaborated well with others as part of a team for a position that you work at? Think about these other areas as well. Information technology. It is more than just simply Microsoft Office, Word, Outlook, Excel, and PowerPoint. What else do you know? And what is going to make you stand out? On the Career Center website, which is www.cpp.edu/career, through the home page, on the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the word Handshake. Click onto that link. It will take you to the Cal Poly Pomona Online Services login to Handshake area where you will enter your Bronco name and password. The screen will come up, which is showcased on this screen on the bottom right-hand side. Under your account, you will click onto the tab called Career Center. This is where you can select appointments and schedule a future appointment with either myself or one of the other career counselors. Additionally, under the Jobs tab, you will be able to look for part-time on-campus, off-campus, internships, and full-time opportunities, and volunteer work. Under the Events tab, you will be able to see upcoming information sessions, PR tables, as well as workshops and future career fairs. So utilize your Handshake account, build your profile, add key information. And if it is public, that means that employers can see it and they may reach out to you. So that is why a resume should be completed as soon as possible and uploaded under your account, which is located under your name, under that tab, under documents, and you can upload as many resumes as needed for the different positions. And stay in touch. If you have additional questions, I host drop-in advising in the College of Business on Tuesdays from 1 to 4 p.m. and Wednesdays 2 to 4 p.m. My location is in Building 163, Room 1024. It is one of the College of Business study rooms. My email address is crpeters@cpp.edu. If you'd like to stop by the Career Center for drop-in advising Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., our office is located in Building 97, Room 100, which is under the campus marketplace. If you have general questions for the Career Center, you are welcome to email us career@cpp.edu. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to speak with all of you this semester.